Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have the top 10 from the Hales-Wales point standings. The drivers themselves had a season-long point system that they compiled, thanks in good part to Mississauga. Could that have anything to do with Bob being number one? I highly doubt it. He had a whale of a season. Where's little Bob with his number one car? He's way in the back. Okay, Bob, unofficial champion as far as I'm concerned. He's the champion in Hales-Wales competition here this season.
We're going to go 10 on down, I think. Or did you shoot him right?
No, did it backwards.
One's missing.
Okay, finishing in the runner-up spot was the driver of car number 0, Bob Thompson. Okay, there we've got Bobby. Finishing third, a real exciting chauffeur. Aboard car number 14, it was Ken Larson. By the way, these guys are going to compete in their own special dash in just a moment or two after the playing of the national anthem. Finishing fourth in car number 89, Dale Yakey. Fifth place for 1985, going to the driver of car number 21, Jay Olkey. Jay with a lot of fans in the stand, great. Finishing sixth in car number 77, a popular car and driver, that great big Cadillac, Bob Trado. Finishing seventh, car number 86, Mike Langhoff. Finishing in the eighth place, car number 73, Ron Lingford. Don't believe Ronnie's made it to the starting lineup yet. Okay, finishing ninth in car number 26, Pat Steffen. Wow, Pat having a raft of fans. And finishing in the number 10th spot for 1985, the driver of car number 31, Russ Adzema. By the way, we'd like to thank Glenn Adzema and all the people from City Veteran Taxi for presenting trophies during the running of tonight's action here at the Speedway. The City Veteran Taxi Company, of course, very instrumental in the Hales-Wales program for 1985. And it's been an exciting bunch of competition. I'm sure you'll agree. We'd like to have Dan Scholl trackside. Dan, could you come trackside and join Bob Sopa in carrying our colors around the Speedway?
Okay. You pointed out they're getting...
Your attention in the pit area, please, with Tony Carraro Sr. Tony Carraro Sr. Please meet your wife at the main gate. This is a non-emergency.
Susie, did you want to... Okay, waiting for Dan Scholl. He should be trackside in just a moment or two. We see Dan Scholl motoring through the pits, and here's a driver, a second-generation driver, son of the late Art Scholl. He's really coming into his own, especially during 1985. Dan with a very radical, to say the least, sportsman automobile. He'll be joined by Bob Sopa in just a moment or two. And a special treat on Fan Appreciation Night here this evening. We have a Hales-Wales competitor herself on hand to sing the national anthem. So at this time, we'd like to introduce you to the lovely Susie T. and ask you to please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We'd like to thank the lovely Susie T for a very great rendition of our national anthem as Dan Scholl and crew return their American flag to the start-finish line. A very happy crew, everybody involved in the automobile aboard the race car, and little Bob Sopa, who in just a moment or so will make his whale squirt and then head back to his starting lineup. And I guess Bob drew the very last starting position for a 10-lap Hales Wales dash. A great evening for the Hales Whales. I believe Bob's lovely daughter Vicky climbing out of the automobile, wishing Pa good luck on his chances in the 10, or correction, that's a 6-lap Sportsman Dash, the 10 top cars of 1985 in Hales Wales competition, we should say, will do battle for 6 laps. The Hales Wales, for the very first time, having their own complete racing program, and an interesting one it'll be, as we'll have progressive racing throughout their heat race competition. You'll have to finish in the top 4 positions to move on to feature competition. The semi-feature will be a last chance type of event, as top finishers from the semi will also be added to the feature event for the Hales Wales. So first event on tonight's card will be 10 of the top Hales Wales competitors for 1985 doing battle in a 6-lap dash. Bob will fall in on the tail end. Is 31, Russ Adzima will go from the pole. Outside of him, 26, Pat Steffen. Ronnie Lingford. Outside of him, Mike Langhoff, Bob Trado, Jay Olkey, Dale Yakey. Car number 14, Kenny Larson. On the inside of the last row, in car 0, it's Bob Thompson. On the outside, in car 10, Bob Sopa. The Hales Wales division, and I'll pass it along for everybody as far as the official scores and whatnot are concerned, has been just a pleasure beyond belief. An excellent group of competitors, very cooperative, and the Hales Wales, a huge success for 1985 as they look for the green in their 6-lap dash. Hard chargers, every one of them, as Steffen in 26 battles with 31 Adzima for the top spot. Steffen with a possible fender length, but now Russ Adzima in 31 battles back tooth and nail as they go down into corner 3, with now Steffen having a slight advantage. Dale Yakey in 89 goes around over in corner 3. Pat Steffen out in front with Adzima running in the number 2 spot. Ronnie Lingford 3rd. Bob Trado in car 77 4th, with Kenny Larson riding in the 5th spot. Steffen continues to set the pace with Adzima running in the number 2 spot, but now feeling the heat from 73 Lingford. Steffen with about a 4-car length advantage over 31 Adzima in his city veteran taxi entry. 73 Lingford runs in the 3rd spot. Trado pilots the Cadillac along in the 4th running position. third, moves inside of Russ and Zima, and Lingford will go second in car number 73. A long way to go, though, to chase down your leader, car number 26, Pat Steffen. 2 to go for leader Steffen. Sopa comes up and really tags number 77. '26, Pat Steffen. White flag for your race leader as 73, Lingford tries to close the distance. Once again, Sopa battles with Trado for the number 4 spot as Zima runs third in car 31. Sopa will go to fourth in car 10. Kenny Larson in the infield area as Pat Steffen wins the dash. Ronnie Lingford finishes second. Russ and Zima third. Bob Sopa fourth. Bob Trado fifth. Bobby Thompson sixth. Kenny Larson seventh. And a dead heat for the 8th place between Mike Langhoff and Dale Yakey. So there you have it, the Hales Wales Dash, the first such event ever, and it's won by the driver of car number 26, Pat Steffen. Steffen, of course, a regular throughout the 1985 season here at the Speedway. He squirts his whale, the spray high in the air. Let's have a big, nice round of applause. Pat Steffen as he picks up a well-deserved trophy. Sats Tap, Pops Wind Lake Auto, and Troll Racing helping Pat Steffen in car number 26 along. Okay, the next event on the card will be a Hales Wales heat race to be contested at 8 laps. Now, some of these drivers that just competed in the dash could well find their way into this first heat race event. In fact, Mike Langhoff is in the event, and he starts from the pole in car number 86. Outside of him, car number 20. Car number 27. Driven by Steve Falcott. Outside of him, X87. Curtis Wickman, 005. Okay, Pam Baker in 005. And Bob Trado will drive number 77. Car 55, driven by Mark Craning, and outside of him in car number 70, it's Don Kacklemeyer. Inside the next row, car 89, Dale Yakey. Outside of Yakey, aboard car number 15, it's Dave Lane. '144, Mark Hermanson, and alongside of him, in car 188, it's Bill Schuler. Bringing up the rear end of the field, in car number 19, it's Ken Parker. Now remember, the drivers will be battling for a top 4 position in this heat race, and all the heat races for that matter, as that will advance them automatically to feature competition. So heat race is extremely important. The drivers will really have to go at it tooth and nail, as a very poor alignment keeps the yellow flag out. 8 laps, a Hales Wales heat race action. '86, Mike Langhoff sets the pace. Mike, of course, wanting to get a big jump on the field to assure himself a spot in tonight's Hales Wales feature action. Set to go. Beautiful alignment. We go green. Langhoff leads the field as heavy traffic in corners 1 and 2 is the rule. Langhoff goes up the back chute in the top spot with number 46. Jeff Jasinski running second. Now a tangle down in the corner. Car 55 craning involved as several other automobiles back away. Pam Baker continues on her way in car number 5, but now we have a bumper down in the corner, and I'm sure that's going to produce a yellow flag. A bumper laying right smack in the racing groove, and we go yellow. So 1 lap scored complete before a bumper from Pam Baker's number 005 brings out the first yellow flag of the evening. X87 with sparks coming out of the automobile. Green flag flies. It looks like the battery post on X87 might be hitting the hood or something like that, causing a lot of sparks. As once again, Mike Langhoff takes the top spot. He's being chased down in the corner number 3 by 000. That's Jeff Borowski. Mike Langhoff, Jeff Borowski. '46, Jeff Jasinski, and it looks like 77, Trado, your top 4 in the early going. Mike Langhoff continues to set the pace. Mike Langhoff, then the 00 car, Borowski's. Mike Langhoff, Jeff Borowski. Number 46, Jasinski, then at 77, Trade-Out. And Dale Yakee's the first car out of the event in car 89. He's trying, of course, to overhaul one of those cars in front of him and gain a spot in tonight's feature event. 86 Langhoff continues to lead it. Triple zero, Jeff Borowski running in the number 2 slot. Good 3-car battle on the back chute for positions 3 through 5. 2 to go, and look at the battle back in the pack as Mike Langhoff continues to set the pace. Langhoff, your leader. He and 00 look like shoo-ins for spots in tonight's main. Now Yakee in 89 overhauls 46 for the number 4 spot. Langhoff, white flag for your race leader. 00 Borowski runs second. 77 Trado third, with 89 Yakee running fourth. Mike Langhoff, a quarter lap from victory in his great big whale automobile. Langhoff will win the first Hales Wales heat race of the evening. Finishing second, Jeff Borowski and 00. Third going to Bob Trado in 77. Fourth going to car 89, Dale Yakee. Those drivers automatically assured spots in this evening's feature event for the Hales Wales automobiles. Okay, heat number 1 goes in the record book with Mike Langhoff scored as your leader. The Langhoff brothers very active in stock car racing in the Milwaukee area. Mike will pick up a beautiful trophy from City Veteran Taxi for his efforts. Let's hear 86. Dan Kroll and Company, hydraulic cylinder specialist, Peterson Racing Photos, and a host of others. Sponsoring Mike Langhoff, and you never know, with quite possibly this Hales Wales division as successful as it's been, another Melius, Scheffler, or Harris performing before your very eyes here this evening. A great training ground for the new chauffeurs on the circuit as we go with the lineup for Hales Wales Heat number 2, 21 Jay Olkey on the pole. Outside of him, in car number 3, it's Kevin Kunkey. Inside the second row, 28, driven by Brian Gilhaber. Outside of him, in car number 4, it's Jerry Teachin. Third row inside, car number 7, Rich Dockstetter. Outside of him, M80 Mike Dunlap. Fourth row inside, car 67, Todd Linson. Outside of him, Linda Eckert in 98. 41 inside the fifth row is driven, it's a good guess who's in 41. Okay, outside, car number 11, Marlon Larson. 0, Bob Thompson. 10, Bob Sopa. Number 1, Virgil Shaver. Outside of him, B52, Jerry Etzel. And on the rear, in 016, it's Bob Gulland. Okay, that should set the lineup for the second 8-lap Hales Wales event of the evening. 21 Olkey sets the pace as they exit corner 4, anticipating a green. The field underway with car number 3, Kevin Kunkey taking an early lead. 21 Olkey tries to chase him down. 28 Gilhaber runs third. Car number 7, Rich Dockstetter, runs fourth. Soap and Thompson starting a long way back in the field. They'll have a lot of racing to do if they're to gain a position in tonight's feature event. Brian Gilhaber working inside of 21 Olkey as that battle rages for the number 2 spot. They get together on the back chute. Both drivers straighten their automobiles out nicely, but it allows number 3, Kevin Kunkey, to stretch his already big lead. Car 67, driven by Todd Linson, works his way to fourth. Linson now in the top 4, but he's being pressured by M80 Mike Dunlop. 0 Bobby Thompson as the heat really gets turned up midway back in that pack. Kevin Kunkey continues to lead the event in car number 3. Brian Gilhaber runs in the number 2 spot with car 28. 21 Olkey third. And look at that battle for fourth between Dunlap, car number 67, Linson. Now Linson drifts high, allowing Dunlap to move to fourth. Kevin Kunkey, your race leader in car number 3. Brian Gilhaber running a comfortable second, but a good battle for the third spot. Jay Olkey, Mike Dunlap, and Bob Thompson all going at it. Thompson is out of the feature at this point. Now he battles with Dunlap for entry into tonight's main. As number 3, Kunkey continues to lead, but now with somewhat less of a lead over Brian Gilhaber than he had earlier. Gilhaber now right on Kunkey's rear bumper. Olkey continues to run third with Dunlap fourth. Dunlap moves inside of Olkey as the battle rages for the number 3 spot. White flag this time around. Kevin Kunkey still your race leader, but Brian Gilhaber right on his tail. Gilhaber gets a piece of Kunkey as they go down into corner number 1, but both drivers continue smoothly. Thompson in 0, and Sopa in 10. At this point, out of tonight's main. Look at the battle for the top spot. Kunke drifts high. Gilhaber goes to the bottom. They come to the stripe. Kevin Kunke nips Brian Gilhaber for the win. Mike Dunlap third, finishing fourth in car 21. It's Jay Olkey. So a battle right down to the wire, finding Kevin Kunke out of Oak Creek, the winner in car number 3. Kunke, Brian Gilhaber, Mike Dunlap, and Jay Olkey will advance to feature competition. Thompson, Sopa, and the rest of the group at this point are out. Let's have a nice round of applause. Kevin Kunke, car number 3, the Jim's Auto Paint, letters by Fitz Automobile. Oh, he's a member of the Untroll Racing. Oh my. I would assume those are competitors of the Troll Racing bunch. Of course, headed up by Bob Sopa. Hey, these Wales guys have a heck of a time. Okay, set to go with Wales Heat number 3. Starting from the pole, in car number 47, it'll be Mike Weir. Outside of Weir, in car number 48, it's Dave Bobolt. Driven by Mike Hack. Outside of Hack is Mark Baker in 65. Car number 33 is Jeff Walzak. Outside of Walzak, car number 99. That's driven by Mike Sulla. Inside the next row, the lovely Susie T in car number 29. Outside of Susie, driving car number 169, it's Pat Gifford. Car number 14, inside row 5, that of course is Ken Larson. Outside of Larson, in car number 52, it's John Schultz. Car 54, driven by Ray Gerber. Outside of 54, in I-69, that's none other than A.J. Stahoviak. The final row, in car number 60, we find Jim Lynch alongside of Lynch. In car number 17, it's Jeff Dockstetter. Looks like a couple added starters to the event. In car number 28, that obviously isn't Brian Gilhaber. He was in the last event. I don't believe we have that driver's name. It's David Hall's in car 99, by the way. Ooh, a little pre-race activity over in the corner as we stay under the yellow for another lap. Mike somebody driving the 01 car on the tail end as we have extremely large heat races. Once again, David Hall in car number 99. David with a lot of fans. Okay, should be set to go green. 8 laps of Hales Wales action. As on the pole, in car number 47, it's Mike Weir. He sets the pace. We go green. The Wales sail down in the corner number 1 with Weir out in front. Mark Baker in car 65 making a brilliant move, going to second in his great big Ford Thunderbird. Mike Hack in 007 moving to the inside goes third. David Hall moves to fourth in car 99. Weir continues to set the pace with Baker, 007 Hack, and David Hall, your top 4 runners in the early going. If you would have seen the first night of competition early in the season for Hales Wales automobiles and see them race now, you wouldn't believe. The same competitors basically on the Speedway. It didn't seem that they could get down to the first corner without an incident, and hey, these guys can really drive after a year's practice. Should say, guys, is Susie T smacks the outer retaining wall. You can see her badly damaged number 29, the radiator leaking profusely, and Susie will roll to a halt as some more action takes place down in corner number 1. But Susie T's number 29, I wouldn't doubt, done for the season, as she really got a trip up into that concrete retaining wall. And Susie's hopes go up in smoke. She'll need at least the assistance of a push truck on the main chute. Well, the Gessler Auto Body emergency vehicle right on the ball. Gessler with us throughout the season. We'd like to thank them for their assistance. Okay, Mike Weir will set the pace when we go back to green. 3 laps scored complete, so we're nearing the halfway point with Mark Baker running in the number 2 slot. At 007 in the driver's seat, Weir your race leader. Mark Baker in his big Ford Thunderbird runs in the number 2 slot. Okay, Weir brings the field off corner number 4, but Mark Baker seemingly has the jump. Baker, your new race leader with car 65. Larson will go 3rd in car 14. Larson really on the move. He goes high on the Speedway, battling with Weir for the number 2 spot. Weir now really standing on the throttle, pulls up to challenge race leader Baker. A good 3-car battle. Larson in 14 goes to 2nd. He eyes up race leader Baker. He gets a piece of Baker coming off the corner, but very gentlemanly backs off the throttle as he had Baker out of shape. 47 Weir, 007 Hack, all in the thick of the chase. Now Larson mounts a challenge in the on the outer groove of the Speedway. Baker in 65, Larson in 14. Door handle to door handle, they battle for the top spot, but it's Kenny Larson now out in front with 2 to go. '52, John Schultz with some brilliant driving, works his way into the main, at least at this point. Kenny Larson leads it, but look at the battle for the 4th spot. Of course, the key to entry into tonight's feature. Car number 60. Right in the thick of the hunt. Kenny Larson. 007 Mike Hack. 52, John Schultz moves inside of Weir as they battle for 4th. Now look at the action down in the 3rd corner. Larson wins it with car 14. Hack will finish 2nd, John Schultz 3rd, and Jim Lynch 4th in car 60. As a heated battle on the very last lap of competition. Advances both Lynch and Schultz to feature competition. They're still tangling on the back chute. The win going to car number 14, Ken Larson of Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Larson, one of the drivers in the top 10 for 1985. Let's have a nice big round of applause. Ken Larson, Borchert Speed Automotive, and he'll pick up a well-deserved trophy from City Veteran Taxi. .007 finishing in the number 2 spot, Mike Hack. 52. Driven by John Schultz finishing 3rd, and Jim Lynch finishing 4th. Okay, the next heat race, trackside. On the pole, we'll see who's in car number 62 this evening. One of Eddie Ledger's automobiles. It could well be John Boss. It sure is. Radio personality John Boss of WTMJ. Okay, outside of him, car number 31, Russ Adzema. Aboard car number 291. As we look down our score sheet, oh my, don't have a 291, at least on our score sheet. We'll dig through our notes. 291, mystery driver. Okay, alongside of him, car number 74. That's driven by Dick Sink. 73 is Ron Lingford. 1.5, oh boy. Steen somebody. 069, Elmer Kiekler. And outside of Elmer in 383, also a new automobile, or at least a new number. No name for the driver of car 383. 16, driven by Kevin Slingshot. Outside of him in 197, it's Mark Hintz. B19 is driven. We're getting some help from up in the stands, but anyway, not enough audible to pick it up. Number 26, Pat Steffen, starting along B19. Aboard car number 12, we find Mel Laughlin, and outside of Laughlin, in 07, it's Danny Vesh. Randy Adzema in 383. Okay, always a lot of help from people in the infield area and around the Speedway. 383, Randy Adzema, one of those city veteran cabs. Oh boy, we're racing under the yellow. John Boss knows what's going on in car 62, but the rest of the field doesn't. Oh, Frank Wirtz is driving 62 this evening. Okay. .291 is Shannon Kitzman, or some semblance thereof. Okay, I think we have the field set. Frank Wirtz in car 62 tonight, one of Eddie Ledger's automobiles. He's had many celebrities aboard this year. I don't know if Frank Wirtz qualifies as a celebrity. He's a sometimes sportsman pilot. Shares the ride with his brother Jimmy. Frank Wirtz and Russ Adzema will go from row number 1. One of the drivers said he had the brakes on during the yellow, but the other guys kept pushing him. Mark Sweeney asking him what was going on, and the guy said he was getting a whole bunch of help. So, anyway, the trials and tribulations of Hales-Wales competition. Frank Wirtz, car 62, setting the pace at Russ Adzema, right alongside as we go green. Once again, 8 laps of competition. Russ Adzema takes an early advantage in car 31. Wirtz runs in the number 2 slot. Ronnie Lingford goes third. And in car number 74, it's Dick Sink running fourth. Elmer Kiekler in 069 moves up to challenge Sink for the number 4 spot, and Kiekler has it. Adzema continues to set the pace with Wirtz running second, Lingford third, as the drivers scramble back in the pack, trying to gain entry to tonight's feature competition. Remember, we'll have a great big drawing during intermission for a trip to Las Vegas. A trip minus the airfare, but a wonderful stay in Las Vegas. We'll tell you a little bit more about it later as Frank Wirtz moves up the battle. Russ Adzema for the top spot. Ronnie Lingford trying to make it a tight 3-car battle up front. Kiekler running all by himself in the 4th slot with 0.69. Edzema still setting the pace, but Wirtz trying to chase him down in car 62. Pat Steffen locked in a heated battle with Ken Slingshot for the number 5 slot, but it isn't the position they're looking for. Of course, that's 1 spot out of tonight's main. Adzema still leads it, but now Wirtz, using the inner groove of the Speedway, moves alongside a race leader. Adzema, in fact, overhauls him going down into corner 1. Ronnie Lingford does likewise, dropping Adzema to 3rd. Lingford now 2nd in car 73. Two to go for race leader Frank Wirtz. Wirtz continues to set the pace as he'll be looking at the white flag this time around. Ronnie Lingford trying to chase him down, but still 4 or 5 car lengths in arrears. Frank Wirtz now approaching traffic. He's trying to lap, as he's a quarter lap from victory and playing it plenty cautiously, to say the least. Wirtz goes inside. Frank Wirtz will win it in car 62. Ron Lingford 2nd. Russ Adzema with the hood up finishes 3rd. And Elmer Kiekler in 0.69 rounds out your top 4. So Pat Steffen will go to the semi, as will the rest of the competitors that finished behind Pat. Frank Wirtz, the winner of Hales Wales Heat number 4. Wirtz rolls into victory circle. He'll pick up a trophy from City Veteran Taxi. Let's have a nice big round of applause. Frank Wirtz. Ronnie Lingford 2nd, Russ Adzema 3rd, and Elmer Kiekler rounds out the top 4. Okay, we'll switch to sportsman action. Vince Haywood's group down in front of the grandstand right now. Vince, a competitor out of Antioch, Illinois, and he brings along his, I believe, pit crew or fan club or whatever they might be. Look like they're having a heck of a time at the races this evening. Okay, sportsman cars, trackside, 10-lap heat race events. Find Dan Meck on the pole in his Stars number 37. Outside, we're informed that in car number 6 tonight, it's late model regular Larry Richards. Number 9, Cordell Spayback 77. Chuck Ostergaard 99. Dick Kaiser 8, John Johnson 24, Jim Letizia. In 14J, it's Jay Maywald of McHenry, Illinois. 95, Dick Protashewitz. 89, Phil Banda. And bringing up the rear in car number 15, watch this guy, super quick, Skip Martin out of McHenry, Illinois. Tightly bunched field as they jockey for positions through corners 3 and 4. Anticipating a green, Richards gets a good jump on the field. Richards is out in front in car number 6. Larry Richards being pursued by Chuck Ostergaard. Meck battles with 6, Johnson for the 3rd spot. Ostergaard now right on Larry Richards' rear bumper. Richards crosses it up, uses a lot of joint, and Ostergaard has to settle for the runner-up spot. 6 Richards, 77 Ostergaard, 8 Johnson, 37 Meck, but Meck being pressured by Jay Maywood in car J14. Larry Richards leads lap number 2. Jay Maywood in J14 goes to 4th, dropping Meck out of the money as Johnson in 8 goes to the top of Ostergaard. Side-by-side battle for the number 2 spot. The brilliant Johnny Johnson battling with veteran Chuck Ostergaard for 2nd. 95, Protashewitz goes around in corner 4. A miscue by 8, Johnson drops him to 4th as we go yellow. A couple of the back markers tangling over in corner number 4, bringing out a yellow. Larry Richards, a graduate of the Sportsman Automobiles, now finding himself on Fan Appreciation Night back behind the wheel of one as he battles with John Johnson, a couple visitors in the person of Chuck Ostergaard and Jay Maywald, it is, as we're set to go back to green at the completion of 4. 6, Richards. 8, Johnson. Battle for the top spot as they head up the back chute. Now Johnson overpowers Richards as they head down into 3. Ostergaard goes 3rd. Maywald running 4th. John Johnson out in front with Chuck Ostergaard in the runner-up spot. 6, Larry Richards. 14, Maywald. Ostergaard makes a move inside of Johnson. Gets a little bit of push, and Johnson holds him off as they head up the back chute. John Johnson, Chuck Ostergaard, Larry Richards, and Jay Maywald as now Johnson's car goes up in a cloud of smoke. Ostergaard doing a brilliant job of driving. Drives through the spilled oil. Ostergaard is your new race leader with Richards 2nd, Maywald 3rd, and car number 15, Skip Martin, now running 4th. Ostergaard with a lap to go. Larry Richards running 2nd, and car 15, Skip Martin, winds up in the infield area. That'll put Protashewitz, who spun earlier in the event, in the 4th spot. Ostergaard wins it. Richards 2nd. Car 14, Jay Maywald 3rd. And finishing 4th in car 95, it's Dick Protashewitz. So some interesting late race action. A position or 2 changing as Johnson's hopes went up in smoke with car number 8. And we find a former regular in the late model division here at Hales, Chuck Ostergaard, coming home with the win. Ostergaard doing some brilliant driving to avoid that problem on the main chute. And Chuck with a well-deserved win here this evening in 77X. In 12 with Mark Brunner, 27 Lee Weber, 33 John Burnside, 67 Al Teachin, 16 Don Scheffler. And bringing up the tail end of the field, this evening's fastest qualifier in car number 112, it's Dan Scholl. Mark Sweeney checking something with Don Scheffler this moment, it looks like Dan Scholl will move outside the last row, and Scheffler will start all by himself on the tail end. So several of the regulars from the Wilmot, Wisconsin Speedway on hand this evening. Larry Cash, Chad Borg, Eddie Ozog on hand to do battle with the regulars. The Hales Corner Speedway is we should be set to go green in just a moment or two. Removing the 15 automobile from the back straightaways. Skip Martin driving brilliantly, coming from well back in the field, but having a late race incident, winding up in the infield, exiting corner 2. And Martin will have to come back to do battle in tonight's feature action, as he's one of the quickest cars on the speedway here this evening. Okay, should be set to go green this time around. Larry Cash and Darrell Traber, where yellow light remains out one more time. Cash and Traber getting a pretty good jump on the rest of the field. Larry Cash, car 17, setting the pace. It's all in his hands. We go green. Darrell Traber with an early race advantage over Cash. Chad Borg will go third in car 33. 12th runner races to fourth. Mark Smayback really gets a piece of Mark Brunner and deposits Brunner sideways down in corner number 3. 5, Traber continues to set the pace with Cash second. Borg third. Brunner removes his car from the speedway and we remain green. 33, Burnside works his way to fourth. Darrell Traber now a big advantage over Larry Cash in 17. 33 Borg, 33X is Borg, 33 is Burnside as 112. The evening's fast qualifier, Dan Scholl, tries to work his way into the top 4. Traber comfortably in front with car 5. Cash runs in the second spot. Chad Borg, John Burnside. Traber with beautiful form. Dan Scholl moves inside of Burnside for the number 4 spot. Five Traber, 17 Cash. Dan Scholl with 112 works inside of Chad Borg. He overhauls Borg for the 3rd spot. Traber still setting the pace. 17 Cash and in quite a distance back at Scholl. Burnside slows on the back chute. Burnside out of it. Dan Scholl now moves up to challenge Larry Cash for the number 2 spot. Scholl moves inside of Cash as they race side by side. Scholl gaining the position. Scholl now within sight of race leader number 5 Traber. Traber bobbles. Scholl moves inside of him. Traber giving Scholl precious little racing room. Traber's car goes up in smoke. Scholl win it. 17 Cash third, 5 Traber fourth, and 33X Shad Ford fifth. Well, Dan Scholl on his way to a clean sweep here this evening. Top time, wins the heat, and can Dan Scholl win tonight's Sportsman Main? Dan Scholl, extremely impressive, as some heads-up driving, avoiding problems all the way. Dan Scholl wins that second Sportsman heat of the evening. Scholl piloting the Hales Corner Service Center, Partners Pub number 2 entry. Dan Scholl, is very potent number 112 automobile, ducks back into the pits after winning Sportsman Heat Race number 2. Okay, we go the regular Sportsman Heat Race events, also to be contested at 10 laps. On the pole for the first of 2 10-lap regular Sportsman Heats is Todd Brown Eyes, car number 85. Outside 71, Mike Faraday. 7, Ron Stryka. 86, Steve Langhoff. 114, Dave Vidusky. In car number 82, it's Steve Langhoff. Or, correction, that's Steve Wankowski. Okay, Steve, sorry about that. 54, driven by Charlie Wolf. 28, Marty Summers. Car number 11, out of Speedway, Indiana, it's Bobby McCracken. And on the outside, in 12X, it's Bob Schweiss out of Fox Lake, Illinois. Laps of Sportsman Heat Race action with Todd Brown Eyes setting the pace, car number 85. Brown Eyes inside, Mike Faraday outside, tightly bunched field. Should go green this time around. Mark Sweeney puts the field in motion as Mike Faraday gets a slight jump on Todd Brown Eyes down in corner number 1. Ron Stryka battling with Steve Langhoff for the number 3 slot. Mike Faraday, early race leader, is 7. Ron Stryka makes a move inside of Brown Eyes and goes second. Vidusky does likewise and goes third in car 114. Ron Stryka now challenges race leader Mike Faraday as they head up the back, shooting down into 3. Marty Summers holding down the 4th spot in car 28 as Bobby Schweiss in X12 challenges him for the spot. Schweiss now overhauls Summers for the number 4 spot with car X12. 7 Striker inside of Faraday for the lead. Striker your leader. Vodusky runs second. Faraday third with Bobby Schweiss running fourth in X12. Schweiss now closes in on third running Faraday. Schweiss goes to the bottom. He overhauls Faraday for the third slot. Marty Summers and Bobby McCracken getting together at the top of the main chute, and now debris coming off several of the automobiles with Summers' car coming to a halt right in the racing groove. So race leader Ron Striker motors slowly up the back chute. He and Vodusky. Should be set to go green this time around as the safety lights extinguished. Field heads down into 3. Striker in his CRT number 7 in the driver's seat. 4 to go. Bobby Schweiss with some brilliant driving, threading the needle, and it looks like he'll go to the number 2 spot. 7 Striker out in front, being pursued by Schweiss. Vodusky running third. Vodusky gets crossed up, exiting 2. It'll move McCracken into the top 4 with car 11. McCracken overhauls Faraday for the number 3 spot as Striker continues to hang on to the lead. Now Schweiss mounts a challenge on the inside, but Striker staves him off. White flag this time around. Ron Striker being challenged by Bob Schweiss. Schweiss unable to get inside of Striker. Now Schweiss with control problems himself as he bounds through the infield area. 7 Ron Striker coming down and taking the victory. Bobby Schweiss will finish second. McCracken third. 71 Mike Faraday rounds out the top 4 as Steve Langhoff goes around up in corner number 4. Steve just a quarter lap from finishing the 10-lap event. Number 7 Ron Striker getting out to an early advantage, never to be headed, and he drives his Juno Square CRT number 7 to one of many heat race victories he's scored here at the Hales Corner Speedway this season. Let's have a nice big round of applause. Ron Striker. Striker picks up a trophy courtesy of City Veteran Taxi as another sportsman heat race event rolls onto the Speedway. 10 laps, a sportsman competition once again coming at you with number 2, Scott Boashef on the pole. Outside of him, in car number 5, it's Terry Nottingham of Wadsworth, Illinois. 65, Scott Zelke. Outside, 10, Frank Dankenberger. 58, Tom Hormatka. Aboard car X69, it's Jim Peetson. Car number 1 is driven by Frank Geiger of Glen Beulah. outside of him, 22, Dan Tefelsky. Car number 98, Tony Adams, outside 11, Bob Rasmussen. All by himself on the tail end, car number 40 out of Libertyville, Illinois, John Kennedy. Once again, we're running a tool department up here. Found another tool out of one of the cars in the second heat race. Again, check your toolboxes, guys, or I'm going to go home with a real nice tool selection here tonight. Come up and identify it, and it's yours. A competitor in the second heat race, losing, I would guess, a rather valuable tool. And perched alongside. Boashef leads the field down into corner one. Nottingham and Dinkenberger battling for the number 2 spot, but turning up the wick is Terry Nottingham as he pulls up alongside a leader, Boashef. Terry Nottingham, now your race leader. With Boashef second, Dinkenberger third, 22 Tefelsky fourth. Now Dinkenberger moves inside of Boashef, gets a good piece of him in the process, and goes to second. Silky and 58 Hermadka tangle down between corners 3 and 4. Will the problem clear before the competitors reach the problem area down in the corner? It looks like 58 Hermadka clear of the Speedway as Nottingham continues to set the pace. Nottingham, Dinkenberger, 22 Tefelsky, and now Jim Peetson in X69 in the top 4. In fact, Peetson works inside of 22 Tefelsky as they battle for third. Dinkenberger a couple lengths back on race leader Terry Nottingham. Now Nottingham stretches his advantage. Peetson trying every trick in the book to overhaul Tefelsky in 22. For a race leader, Terry Nottingham. A quarter lap from victory as he pilots car number 5 off corner 4 and wins a sportsman heat race event. 10 Frank Dinkenberger will finish second, 22 Dan Tefelsky third, X69 Jim Peetson rounds out the top 4. Wow, a lot of smoke from Tony Adams' number 98 car as Terry Nottingham rolls into victory circle here. Terry hailing from Wadsworth, Illinois, driving the Kelly Sanitary Service automobile out of Wadsworth. Sellers Used Cars in Waukegan, Illinois, also helping Terry Nottingham along. And Terry with a very impressive heat race victory as he really set sail, left the rest of the field well in the rears. Okay, now we switch to the sportsman 6-lap events. Bonus heats, as they're called around the Speedway. Okay, looks like going from the pole is Alabama Don Haring. Brewster the Rooster perched atop of Alabama Don's automobile, the big Alabama custom wing entry. X98, we're informed, is Don Summers. Don Summers in X98. 126 has Al Wallach aboard in number 30. It's Eric Rasmussen, car number 30. Inside the third row, A3, Jeff Harris outside. In car number 21, it's Homer Scott. 63, Dale Pulowski, number 80, Bruce Albanese. 71X, driven by Bob Klubka. Outside of him, in 14, it's Larry Walter. Car number X97 is Vince Haywood out of Antioch, Illinois, and bringing up the tail end with car 55, it's Jim Lang. Alabama Don sets the pace. Is very unusual. 1957 Ford making a national racing publication last year with his Alabama custom wing on the roof. Okay, set the go green. Let's see if Alabama Don can roar to the front. Alabama Don being overhauled at the drop of the green by car X98. Now Eric Rasmussen in 30 goes to the front of the class. Homer Scott, car 21, battles with Rasmussen for the top spot, and Homer Scott's your new race leader. Homer Scott, Eric Rasmussen, Jeff Harris in that order. Car number 14 works his way into the top 4 as Jeff Harris motors to the number 2 spot with car A3. Homer Scott continues to set the pace. Jeff Harris now running in the number 2 slot. Eric Rasmussen and Larry Walter as we're at the halfway point. Jeff Harris goes to the front, but now Homer Scott battles back in the lower groove of the Speedway. Harris with a car length advantage going down into 3. Larry Walter running 3rd. Eric Rasmussen running 4th with 2 to go. Jeff Harris now with a comfortable advantage as Homer Scott slows on the back chute, allowing Larry Walter to go 3rd. White flag this time around. Jeff Harris, your race leader. Harris, Larry Walter, Eric Rasmussen, and now it looks like car number 97. Vince Haywood battling up to the number 4 spot. Harris will win it as Pulowski winds up in the back straightaway wall. Larry Walter finishes 2nd. 97, Vince Haywood goes to 3rd, dropping Rasmussen to 4th on a brilliant last lap pass by Haywood. 63, Dale Pulowski spinning into the back straightaway wall. The safety crew rushing over to check in on Dale, as Dale was involved in a last lap tangle, but the win goes to Jeff Harris from Lakeville, Illinois, the son of Whitey Harris, and who knows, Jeff could be on his way to a brilliant racing career aboard his A3 automobile. Well, it'll take a moment or two to clean up the Dale Pulowski incident on the back chute. We'll once again remind you, a drawing will be held at intermission for a 3-day, 2-night stay for two at the Circus Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. 4 nights, or no, correction, it's a 3-day, 2-night stay at Sportsman Heat Race event. We find on the pole aboard car number 74, Jerry Bomer. Outside of him, in X23, it's Bobby Waltho. Looks like inside of number 2 will be Dan Reith in car 31. Outside, Marv Koch driving 106. Scott Kemmerling in car 115. Outside of him, Tim Soering in number 87. 175 tonight, driven by Dale Cabanach. Outside of him, aboard car 69, it's Dave Milan. Milan hailing from Johnsburg, Illinois. Inside the next row with car number 48, it's Dean Baker. Outside of Baker, car 78, Ben Zabrowitz. And on the tail end of the field, car number 70, Sean O'Connell. Okay, the safety crew motoring back through the pits and out onto the speedway should be set to go green in just a moment or so. Jerry Bomer out of Hartford will set the pace, car 74. Alongside of him, Bobby Waltho. Once again, slated for 6 laps. Final event before a brief intermission, at which time we'll send some lucky ticket stub holder on his way to Las Vegas. Green flag flies, and into the lead, it's Bobby Waltho with car number 23X. But Jerry Bomer overhauls him with 74. Bomer going to the front of the class is a spirited battle for the top spot, coming off corner number 4. Dan Reith hard into the main straightaway retaining wall as Ben Zabrowitz gave him a helping hand with car 78. Zabrowitz really on the move as Bomer continues to lead with Kemmerling running second. Zabrowitz is now third. And Sean O'Connell with car 70 starting very last in the field is now fourth. O'Connell works his way to third and now bangs on Kemmerling, encouraging Kemmerling to really stand on it and motor out in front. Kemmerling battling with Jerry Bomer for the top spot. O'Connell threading the needle. Ben Zabrawitz's number 78 goes up in smoke, one of several automobiles seemingly losing an engine throughout the course of the evening. 31, Dan Reith goes around down in corner 2, and we're going to see the yellow appear. The yellow appearing after 4 laps of competition when a dual incident up in corner number 2 necessitated it. Ben Zabrowitz, after seemingly losing an engine, unable to remove his car from the speedway, coming to rest up in the pit entrance. And Dan Reese, number 31, involved in several incidents throughout the running of the event, finally spinning and coming to rest. Okay, 2 to go. When green flag action resumes, Sean O'Connell, your race leader, starting outside of row number 1. O'Connell once again jumping into the lead. Kemmerling spinning in front of heavy traffic. Let's watch the situation down in corner 2. All the drivers missing. Scott Kemmerling, and that changes the complexion dramatically, as 87 Tim Soering will go second. Jerry Bomer third. 175 Dale Cabanach to fourth. Sean O'Connell will win a 6-lap sportsman heat race here this evening. 87 Tim Soering finishes second, 74 Jerry Bomer third, and 175 Dale Cabanach rounds out the top 4. So Sean O'Connell, in one of his more brilliant nights during 1985 here at Hales, wins a 6-lap sportsman bonus heat, and he'll bring his C.J. Welding automobile around the pickup. A checkered flag of victory, courtesy of the Butler Inn Pub and Grill, and also a well-deserved trophy from City Veteran Taxi. Okay, a brief intermission might be a great time to run down and pick yourself up a cool one or a great sandwich. And in the meantime, we will bring you the lucky tickets. Right after this event, a 12-lap, 42-car Hales Wales Semi. Okay, the field rolls trackside, paced by the City Veteran Taxi and, of course, the beautiful Hiller Ford pace car. The final time during 1985, we'll see a feature event for the Premier Division, tonight, of course, being the Sportsman Division. Roll onto the Speedway. From the pole, in car number 9, will go Cordell Smayback. Grant Picord, inside row 1, outside. In car number 25, his son, Mark Smayback. Inside row 2, car 77. Chuck Ostergaard, outside of him, in car 33X, Chad Borg. 99, driven by Dick Kaiser, outside of him, 34.5, Ed Ozog. 88, John Johnson. Johnson returns, quite possibly a cooling system malfunction or something of that nature. When he went up in smoke earlier, the automobile now repaired. John Johnson starting inside row number 4, outside. Car number 12, Mark Brunner. 24, Jim Letizia. 27, Lee Weber. Car 14J, driven by Jay Maywald of McHenry, Illinois. Outside of him in car 33, it's John Burnside. So Burnside repairing what looked like a serious problem. 95, Dick Protashewitz. 67, Al Teachin. '89, Phil Banda, outside of Banda. In car number 15, we find Skip Martin. And in the very last row, the driver trying to score a clean sweep at tonight's activities here at Hales, car 112, Dan Scholl, and he's joined in the last row by car number 5, Daryl Traber. Okay, the City Veteran Taxi pulls to the infield area, leaving just the Hiller Ford pace car trackside. Once again, remember, Hiller, for all your automotive needs, your one-stop Southwest Side Ford dealer located just north of the Speedway. The pace car stays on the track. There will be at least one more lap under the caution. Okay, now the pace car pulls away from the rest of the field. It'll duck into the pits. The Smaybacks will go from row number 1. Gramp Accord inside, Sunmark outside. We're looking for a green. The race is underway. A tangle on the back chute. Cars all over the place. Johnny Burnside, Dan Scholl, Phil Banda, Lee Weber, all involved in a wild tangle on the back chute as Burnside jumps up and out of his automobile. A complete restart, according to track rules, will be necessitated, and it'll be interesting to see just who can continue. Burnside spinning, several drivers tagging him. Pop Accord is son Mark, comprising row number 1. Chuck Oscar in row number 2 as the field bunches up. Back as racing is 3 wide on the back chute. Cordell gets a helping hand from Chad Borg, and once again the field scattered all over the place. Ostergaard in 77 now out in front. Ed Ozog runs second. Chad Borg runs third. Mark Brunner fourth. Ostergaard with a comfortable advantage over Ozog in 34.5. Mark Brunner closes in on third running Chad Borg. Chuck Ostergaard continues to set the pace, but now his car starts to smoke. 34.5, Ozog goes to the outside. He's overhauled by Chad Borg in 33. Jay Maywald in 14J works his way into the top 5. Jim Letizia has problems exiting corner number 2, but now Jim picks up the pace. Ostergaard, almost a straightaway over Chad Borg. Mark Brunner runs third. Ostergaard, a tremendous advantage over Chad Borg. Mark Brunner in the third spot. Ed Ozog fourth. Complete. Leader Ostergaard. Chad Borg second. Mark Brunner third. Ed Ozog at 14J. Jay Maywald. Running second and spinning. Up in corner number 3. Chad Borg in car 33 going around while running second. He collected Dick Protashewitz. And it brings out a yellow flag, and Ostergaard's tremendous advantage will go up in smoke. Ostergaard absolutely dominating the early portion of the event. Eleven laps scored complete, 14 remain. Mark Sweeney checks the field as they enter corner 3 and pick up a little bit of throttle. They're set to exit corner number 4, and once again under the green. 77 Ostergaard reestablishes himself as the leader, but now he's got a lot of pressure from 14 runner Maywood, 67 Teachin, and 112 Scholl. Ozog hits the wall at 77. Ostergaard's car starts to smoke badly. That put Brunner out in front, but now Brunner's challenged by Teachin. Maywood runs third. Dan Scholl runs fourth. Car 15 all the way from the rear. Skip Martin running fifth. A lot of debris on the back straightaway, and once again we'll go yellow. Someone losing an awful lot of body work or sheet metal. The whole rear section of Chad Borg's number 33 car laying on the back straightaway as Chuck Ostergaard climbs out of his automobile. Ostergaard led the event through the early stages, saw his chances of winning go up in smoke as he headed down into corner number 1, the 77 car out of it for the evening. So Al Teachin was really challenging number 12, Brunner, for the top spot. They diced back and forth, but a virtual rear half of the body of Chad Borg's number 33 deposited on the back chute, brought out the yellow once again. The safety crew out there seemingly on a scavenger hunt as they pick up pieces the entire length of the back straightaway. Running in the number 2 spot. A very good ride for the driver of 14, J. Maywald of McHenry, Illinois. Jay currently runs third, Scholl fourth, Ed Ozog recovering from a bout with the main straightaway wall, running fifth, as it looks like Burnside returns with car 33. Green flag drops once again. 13 laps are scored complete. Teachin goes to the front. Teachin in 67. Brunner in 12. Here comes Dan Scholl in the outer groove of the Speedway. Now Jay Maywald goes inside. Scholl will do likewise. Teachin puts distance between himself and his tormentors as Jay Maywald goes to second, temporarily stymieing Dan Scholl. Al Teachin putting a lot of distance between himself and second running Jay Maywald. Dan Scholl now seemingly works his way to third. Al Al Teachin, now a half lap over Maywald. Scholl now works outside of Jay Maywald as they battle for the number 2 spot. Teachin leads it. Dan Scholl seemingly having the upper hand on Maywald. Now Jay Maywald regains the number 2 spot with car 14. 19 laps complete, 20 the next time around. Teachin out in front as 20 laps are in the record book. 21 this time around for Teachin, well ahead of Dan Scholl running second. Jay Maywald continues to ride third in 14 days. 12 Brunner is fourth. 5 Daryl Traber runs in the 5th slot. Teachin now puts another lap on John Burnside. Teachin has 2 to go. Traber's car goes up in smoke. Traber slows on the main chute. He's out of it. White flag, race leader Al Teachin. Dan Scholl loses it, allowing Jay Maywald to go to second. Brunner third. Scholl hangs on to 4th. Al Teachin drives home a winner in the Borchardt Speed Automotive entry, salutes the fans with a wave out the roof. Jay Maywald will finish second. Mark Brunner will finish third. 112, Dan Scholl fourth. 34.5, Ed Ozog rounds out the top 5. 24, Diamond Jim Letizia finishes with the hood up. Al Teachin, former sportsman champ, wins the 25-lap feature event for sportsman cars here this evening. He'll take home the beautiful trophy from City Veteran Taxi to add to his extensive trophy collection. Teachin driving the Mike Borchardt-owned Borchardt Speed automobile, the car prepared by Perfection Auto Body, co-sponsored by Coors Beer. Teachin, a happy winner to say the least here at the Speedway this evening. 42 cars slated to roll in the semi-feature for the Hales Whales. We'll do our darndest to work as far through the lineup as possible. Mark Baker will go from the pole. Outside of him, Frank Wirtz in car 62. Mike will be driving car 01. We're just not so sure who Mike is, but anyway, that's row 1. Bob Sopa inside row 2, car 10. Outside of him, car 20, Carl Haase. Outside of him, in the I-69 automobile, it's A.J. Stachowiak. Third row inside, 87, I believe it's K87 as it's scored. X87 is Curtis Wickman. Car number 16, driven by Ken Slingshot. Outside of him, 291, Shannon Kisman. The next row inside, car 67. Todd Linson, outside of him, car number 74. It's driven by Dick Sink. And that's about as far through the starting lineup as we're going to get. 42 cars slated to roll. Remember, 6 drivers will advance to tonight's Hales Whales feature. 12 laps, a semi-feature action. could be the most unique semi-feature you've ever seen run here at the Hales Corners Speedway. Let's watch them. A scorer's nightmare is underway. Mark Baker out in front with car 65. Wirtz is second, Sopa third. Three wide, Baker goes around the front of your field, tangled up. Watch the action down in the corner. A wheel loose on the speedway. It brings out a mandatory red flag as the action was hot and heavy down in corner number 3. A traffic jam. Only a couple cars look like they're disabled. Number 16, that's Ken Slingshot's automobile involved. Ken Wright's automobile. Ooh, a lot of bumping and banging before we ever really get back under the green. Those guys are serious about a spot in tonight's main. Wirtz in 62, inside of row number 1. Mark Sweeney not liking the pace that the drivers brought the field around, and we remain under the yellow. Okay, another driver in car 62. We're just not so sure who's driving it at this moment. Frank Wirtz was disqualified because he was not a regular Hales Wales competitor during the season. Whoever's driving number 62 signaling that the driver of car number 55 is the reason he's proceeding along at such a good pace. That would be Mark Craning helping 62 along. And the window net now coming down on one of the automobiles. He'll be black flagged. The signal is one more lap. .383, Randy Adzema scampers to catch up at the tail end of the pack. Mark Sweeney doesn't agree with my comment that the field looks pretty decent. He says, I wouldn't go that far. Okay, we should go green this time around. Stand back from the fences. Bob Sopa up in the concrete with car 10. Sopa seemingly out of it. He tangled with race leader in car 62, and once again we go yellow as Little Bob stranded up at the top of the back chute. A rough break for the Hales Wales champ for 1985, and now the safety crew runs over to check in on Bob. He took a pretty good smack at that concrete retaining wall. This is sort of an automatic. Interesting alignment on the field. The first part of it 3 wide, the rest 2 wide. We can thank the fair and honest Mark Sweeney for that. Here comes the field. The tow truck on the race course. Hopefully he removes himself. Green flag flies, and your leader has the hood open. He's going to stop. This ought to be interesting. No, he's not. A car goes up and over. Car 17 flipping violently. That's Jeff Dockstader's automobile. The first time all season a Hales Whale automobile has gotten upside down, and Dockstader doing it in grand style. Jeff went over at least once as the car more or less twisted on its nose. The safety crew right down to attend to Jeff. They'll take him over to the ambulance, just look him over, make sure he knows he's at the Hales Corner Speedway, etc., and remove his automobile from the Speedway. But Jeff Dockstader, A-OK, and that's always good news. A violent roll for a Hales Wales car, as we mentioned. The first one to get upside down all season. The Hales Wales have been a pleasant surprise in many respects. One of them being, it was predicted they'd be upside down lap after lap after lap, and you see Jeff had a tangle. Dockstader, all he has left really is his helmet. He's got a couple t-shirts coming from Mike Weber. But while they remove his automobile from the Speedway, maybe we'll get a chance to chat a minute. You A-OK, Jeff, that's the first thing.
Name's Don Frederick.
Oh, that's how well informed I am. Okay, Don. We had a different name, of course, on the scorer sheet. How long you been running the car? You didn't start the season then in it, did you?
No, I bought it off of Jeff this year, and it's just my fourth time out. Fourth and last, I guess, for the year.
Well, for the year, but it didn't dampen your enthusiasm for Wales racing, did it?
No, not a bit.
Well, great to have you stop up. It's super to see you're A-OK, and we'll look for you next year.
I'll be here. Thank you.
Looks like Todd Linson is your leader, as A.J. Stahoviak's automobile now needs a push. A.J.'s car stalled down in corner 4. We need a push truck. Our scorers have 3 laps scored complete. I'm not going to vouch for the accuracy of their scoring, but... a bunch of unwelcome additions to the rest of the field falling out of the pits. It'll be car number 1, Virgil Shaver, but it says Dan on the roof, so you can probably tell how updated my driver list is. Embarrassing to interview someone and not have their correct name. Okay, Mark Sweeney. The signal is 1 more lap. Todd Linson, car 67, should be your race leader. Todd Linson continues to set the pace. Number 20, Carl Haase running second, but Haase, I believe, gets the black flag. No, it is not Haase getting the black flag. We're not exactly sure who got it. But anyway, And another driver gets upside down in corner number 4. I believe it's car 1.5. Unfortunately, we don't have the driver's name.
Attention, please, with Pete Artisuck. Pete Artisuck, please meet Tim at the main gate.
Well, when it rains, it pours. A couple of Wales drivers getting upside down in rapid fire order. Okay, the problem being cleared up down in corner number 4, a badly battered Hales Wales automobile. Somebody got upside down in his 1.5 automobile. A great big Chrysler product, the way it looks from our vantage point. John Basie, I believe, is the driver's name in car 1.5. He's A-OK. And on the back chute. I'm not so sure the drivers are aware of it, but it's going to go from a standing start on the back chute. Uh-oh, a couple guys didn't get the word. 46 quit. Now 383, Randy Azima pushes his fellow competitor out of the way. A very wise move, Randy. 47, Mike Weir leading the event. Mel Laughlin running second. Weir still leads with car 47. We'll attempt to keep track of the front runners. It should be Weir in 47, Laughlin in 12. 67 unofficially running third. That would be Todd Linson. Now Mel Laughlin is taking command. Laughlin in 12, your new race leader. Weir runs second. Danny Vesh is 07, loses a right rear tire. He'll duck into the pits. The only problem is the pit entrance is plugged. Mel Laughlin continues to lead with car 12, squeezed up to the wall, but he hangs on. 2 to go for leader Laughlin. Mike Weir running second. '99, David Hall listed as running third. Mel Laughlin wins it. Mike Weir finishes second. Todd Linson will finish third. Fourth is car number 99, David Hall. And we'll wait for word from the scores as to the finish from there on back. Well, a rather unique event to say the least. Mel Laughlin wins it, car number 12. Where is Mel? He'll pick up a trophy. Mel heads up the back, shooting down into 3. As soon as possible, we'll give you the rundown on the top 6. Laughlin, your winner. Mike Weir runs second. 67, finishing third, Todd Linson. 99, David Hall finishes fourth. Let's have a big hand for Mel Laughlin, car number 12, your race winner. 169, Pat Gifford finishes fifth, and X87, Roger Jurowitz finishes sixth. That's your top 6, your drivers advancing. Laughlin wins it, he advances, Mike Weir, and so on down through the field. Okay, semi-feature time for the Sportsman Automobiles, a 15-lap event. Okay, Ron Stryker from the pole in car 7. Outside of him, Terry Nottingham in 5X. Steve Langhoff, 86. 65, Scotty Zilke. 114, Dave Vidusky. 10, Frank Denkenberger. 82, Steve Wankowski. Outside of him, in X69, it's Jim Peetson. 54, Charlie Wolf. 22, Dan Tefelsky. 58, Tom Hormadke. 11, Bobby McCracken. 40, John Kennedy. 12X, Bob Schweiss. 2, Scott Boasheff. 37, Dan Mick. 71, Mike Faraday. 1, Frank Geiger. Looks like 85, Todd Browneyes. 17, Larry Cash. And 1 car that we can't catch from our vantage point outside the second last row. Should be your field for tonight's Sportsman Semi. Okay, the one driver we failed to identify will be number 6, Larry Richards. Dan Meck's number 37 needs a push. Meck needing a push at the top of the main chute. We'll get mech fired and should be underway for 15 laps, a sportsman semi-feature competition. Okay, an alternate starts. 14, Larry Walters starts as an alternate. He'll fall in at the tail end of the field. Stroika and Nottingham pacing the field from row number 1. Should go green this time around. 15 laps.